Hey everybody, on today's episode of Random Projects with Danger, we're going to be putting brakes on the Pusher. The Pusher is a small equipment mover that I made out of an old snowblower to push my trailers around, and if there's like a dead lawnmower or something that I don't feel like dragging, I can hook it up and drag it. There is a video for the build if you want to check that out, but today we got to put some brakes on it because I noticed when you're moving a trailer and you're going down a hill, brakes are a good thing to have. So let's get going. I definitely don't claim to be a professional, but if you don't know what you're doing, don't try this at home. Here is the Pusher. It's made out of an old snowblower. It's got an adjustable trailer hitch on it to move trailers around. It's got rubber bumpers on the front if I need to be pushing any lawn equipment around. So I want to put brakes on this. I bought this small brake kit off, I believe, Amazon or eBay, one of the two. I believe it's for a go-kart maybe. But that rotor and caliper should fit in there somewhere. I'm going to use this 2 1/4 inch hex stock to make a hub to bolt the rotor to. This piece is pretty heavy. I just put it on the scale and it's coming in at about 48 pounds, and that's maybe a 4-foot piece. That took forever. 11 minutes this took. So you just saw me cut this piece of stock. I'm gonna make a hub. I'm gonna have to bore out the center. So it goes on the axle. Probably end up welding that on. And I needed something big enough where I could mount the brake caliper to. And by the looks of it, if I drill and tap holes, we'll be in good shape. But before I drill and tap the holes for the rotor, I'm going to put it in the lathe and make sure it's trued up. I want to face this so I have a perfectly flat surface, and I want to bore the hole for the axle. That way the rotor's not wobbly when it goes around. I want it to ride as true as possible. You can see that the cut isn't straight. We got a little bit more to do, but that's why we do this. Now we have a nice flat surface that we can bolt the rotor to. We have to get in there and make this hole bigger. I believe it has to be about 1.5 inches. So I'm going to start getting in there with the drill bits. I drilled that out to 1 inch, but that is the biggest drill bit that I own. So we have to get out the boring bar and open it up just a little bit more because the shaft that it's going on is 1.25 inches. some nice blue Sharpie. Let that dry for a minute. Yeah, that's mostly dry. Dry enough. See if we can get this lined up with the old Eyeball 5000. Want to get this as close to the center as possible. Kind of liking that. Trace out these bolt holes good enough. I like that. I don't know if you can see. Now I got to try and center punch those. I think I did a pretty good job. Now I got to take this over to the drill press and drill them out. There we have it. As you can see, the holes seem to line up. I think they'll work. Now I just have to tap them, put the screws in. The screws that they provide are M5 by 0.8 thread pitch. I do have a tap that fits that. There's the number 5 metric 0.08. However, I don't have the exact drill bit size that I need, so we're going to have to do a test piece. I just drilled and tapped a little piece of angle iron. The drill bit that I have is slightly big, but it works, so we're going to go for it. Got the old tap magic. Guys, that was 10 minutes to tap one hole because I don't want to break this thing. I got a lot of work into that already, so I'm taking my time. But yeah, 10 minutes times 6 holes, that's an hour just tapping threads. I'm not going to make you watch it. I may put a little high speed in there so you catch the drift, but yeah, things take time. Finally. Good to go. Perfect. It bolts on and fits on there nicely. Now we just have to weld this hub onto the axle so it doesn't go anywhere. And that's running pretty true. I like that. This is the brake caliper. We have to figure out how to mount it. We have to make a bracket that mounts on here, and it has to be removable, otherwise we won't be able to get the brake rotor and wheel off. So we have to figure out some kind of a mounting system. All right, this is what I came up with for the bracket for the caliper. I think it'll hold. And this is the mounting bracket. It has to miss the axle. It has to mount at an angle. We're going to end up putting 2 bolts right at the top here in order to hold it. I was originally going to weld it on, but then I would really have no way of getting the caliper off. And I have to bolt it because the 2 bolts will come in just above that gear. And then we weld this shaft to the rotor. This might get a little blurry, but I have the caliper all mounted. Now it's time for a paint job. Before we paint it, we got to shake the paint. 2 minutes. Now that I have my paint booth set up, perfect. The paint is dry on the bracket. Time to assemble it, put the caliper on, put it on the machine, and get the placement for our rotor. I decided to drill and tap a set screw in the hub because once it's on, I need to lock it in place somehow so I can disassemble it and tack weld it on. But I need to make sure that it doesn't move at all during the disassembly process. So the best way I can figure for that is to put a set screw to lock it in place. Once I get it all in place and assembled, I can tighten that set screw and lock this into place. Then I can disassemble it all and maybe put a little bit of weld on the inside or the outside. I don't know what I'm going to be able to do yet, but we're going to find out. So I have it all assembled and mocked up. You can see the rotor is on there, the caliper is on there. What I'm going to do next is apply the brake by squeezing this lever right here, which you can't see. But what that's going to do, it's going to hold the rotor in the place that it needs to be. And when I do that, I'm going to tighten up the set screw on the hub that I just put. I guess it wouldn't be a true random project if the workshop wasn't a mess. At any rate, this is what we got. I'm going to take the torch and put some preheat into this hub. That way when I hit it with the welder, I'm just going to tack it in a few spots to keep it from coming loose. That should be all that we need. But doing the preheat is going to help a lot. Hopefully it'll help the weld stick better. If I get too much weld on it, the rotor won't fit on. I'll have to grind a bunch off. So wish me luck. Apparently there was a plastic bushing in there that was so greasy I couldn't tell what it was until it started melting. Holy smokes, is that nasty. I'm just hoping once this cools that the rotor will fit in between the welds. We're going to find out. I'll probably have to do some grinding. That's usually how it works. By the looks of it, I think I welded in all the right places. So it looks like it's going to go without any grinding. That's a win. That is all together and it's running true, ready to go. Now we have to put the brake lever on the handlebars. But you see, this brake lever is for a bicycle, and these handlebars are 1 inch, and this is, I believe, 3/4. So I'm gonna try and heat this cheap Chinese metal and see if it'll spread open. Wish me luck. I was able to get it heated and spread apart so I could put it on the handles. I made myself a curved bolt. Beautiful. Done. So the handle came with this cable with no sleeve. So I need to somehow figure out how to make a cable that fits, and I just so happen to have this universal cable kicking around. So we're gonna kind of marry the two, splice it up, and see what we get. I had to make a custom Allen wrench to get in there. It's bent more than 90 just so I could get behind there to tighten this up. But brake works good. Another random project done. This is going to help out a lot when I'm moving equipment around. Sometimes you get the trailer on a little bit of a slope and you're thinking, I'm not going to be able to stop this. Well, now I solved that problem. Thank you everybody for watching. Please click the like and subscribe buttons and all that stuff down there that they want you to click, you know, because the algorithms and things like that I don't know much about. But if you enjoyed this video, stay tuned for the next one. Thank you.